High impact leadership for school renewal is all about learning, growth, and adaptation. Schools that self renew create their own destiny. So, the Hill Project for School Renewal uses the Hill model to help schools do just that and to help schools track their own progress towards becoming a renewal school. We have created a very special tool. The tool is called Appreciating Progress Towards School Renewal, or the APSR. This tool is meant to be used by schools in the process of self-assessing and charting their path for their own growth and development as a school that knows how to constantly renew and reset itself for learning, growth, and adaptation. The APSR is a guide. It's a guide for growing renewal capacity. Every school needs as much renewal capacity as possible to keep pace with changing situations that schools work within and with the changing needs of students. The Hill process for school renewal is not an add-on. It's not something we add to an overpacked agenda. Rather, it's a way to repurpose time and effort within the school and across the school community around an agenda that the school sets for its own students to be successful and to move forward in their own growth. The APSR is a developmental tool. We use it to scaffold a school's growth to become sustainable or to attain a sustainable state of renewal. Because school renewal is a state of being. It's not something we do and put away. It's something we incorporate into the way we live our work day after day. And through the way we live our work day after day, continuously grow and adapt. The APSR isn't a test. There's no scorecard. And we are not comparing ourselves to others. We're only using the APSR to watch our own growth and determine where that growth will take us. The APSR is a simple guide for charting a course to becoming a school with high renewal motivation and high capacity. So why would we want to use the APSR? Well, we are in times of change, and change creates new situations, and new situations sometimes create confusion and chaos. So part of the impact that we can make using the APSR to self-assess and chart our own pathway for growth is to be sure that when we meet times of disruption and sometimes a little bit of chaos, that we know how to recover and move through those times in a way that helps us stay focused on student success. We also can use the APSR to help us reset our thinking, reset our purpose, and resurge in our steady progress towards achieving our purpose. And we can use the APSR to help us reframe and reinvent the way we respond to the future opportunities that we see ahead of us for growth and innovation. Just as we see in this picture of wildflowers growing out of the soil above a landfill, we can turn all challenges and all changes in our situations and our context into the opportunities and the fuel for school renewal. The APSR helps us find those ways to do just that. So when would we use the APSR? Well, we can use the APSR when we work with a Hill facilitator. And in the case of schools in cohort B of the Hill Project, those schools can use the APSR with their facilitator to make the most of the 2021 and 22 school year. This is an important year for the schools in Cohort B because this is the year that we complete the first cycle of the Hill School renewal process and watch what happens as we grow our capacity to serve students well. Another opportunity to use the APSR is while we're planning for sustainable independence in the years ahead. A Hill School facilitator may or may not be available in years ahead. And so we want to grow the capacity within the schools to understand the Hill model for school renewal and employ it in a natural way that fits the needs of the schools and helps the schools carry out their mission and vision for student success. We can also use the APSR to step back from those times when we're dealing with issues and controversies and distractions that tend to push student learning and our concerns about student progress to the background so that we can take care of immediate situations. Those situations happen frequently. They happen in the course of normal school years and in the course of school years where we see special circumstances that disrupt and distract a little more than normal. The point is to come back from those distractions, and the APSR helps us do that. We can also use the APSR when planning how to engage and make the best of our staff capacity. We've worked hard over the years to find opportunities for teachers to work in small teams because we know that our small teams of teachers and leaders are where the real action happens that powers learning, growth, and adaptation for our schools. It's where we make decisions with evidence that supports evidence-based practice and evidence-based responses to students' needs. It's where teachers tap into their expertise, share that expertise, share their ideas, and turn those ideas into actions that benefit students. So we can use the APSR to help teachers work together in small teams to decide how they're going to make their work as strong as possible within the renewal process. In schools, there are so many demands. Many of those demands come to our doorstep in a way that just screams for immediate attention. And we do have to give some of those issues immediate attention. But when we step back again, we have to decide what's most important and most urgent so that we can refocus and redirect our attention after the emergencies and incidents that distract us have been handled. And it's turning back to what's most urgent and most important that becomes a habit when we use the APSR to help us refocus. And of course, we have to figure out how to handle all the competing priorities that stretch everybody in the school too thin and get in the way of accomplishing any real progress on any one of those priorities. So we can use the APSR to have important dialogue about what are those most insignificant, most urgent, most important priorities, and how are we going to use the school renewal process to stay focused on what is most urgent and most important. And finally, we can use the APSR to motivate and inspire and reignite the energy that carries us through whatever we have to deal with in terms of distracting circumstances and keeps us ready to move forward with our mission and vision for student success. The motivation and inspiration, the energy and the hope that we need in our schools is so critical. It's where we find our true north, our compass that takes us forward, even though we don't know what's going to come next. It's what helps us reconnect with our commitment to excellence and equity for children. And it's what really makes the work of our day-to-day engagement with children the work of joy. So we can use the APSR to celebrate our growth, celebrate how we've moved forward in becoming a school that constantly self-renews. And we can take those celebrations and appreciate where our growth has taken us so far and chart that next level of growth that we want to pursue. Finally, we're going to use the APSR to make each and every year a year of growth for the school and for the students we serve. Schools are very organic. They're people institutions. They're places where people need to have a space to learn and grow and adapt. The APSR is a tool to help the school find its direction for growth, find its way back to its mission and vision for student success, and make each year a year of real progress toward that mission and that vision. At the end of the day, the APSR is all about why we open the doors of the school every single day. We do it because all students deserve schools that renew themselves for equity and excellence. We can use the APSR to help us become schools that are truly self-renewing. We can do it because it will help us make sure that all students get the schools they deserve, schools that renew themselves for both equity and excellence. The power of any tool lies in how we use it. So please use the APSR to power positive change. At the link you can see at the bottom of this slide, you can find both the tool and the user guide. The user guide provides suggestions on how to use the tool appreciatively, to use the tool to empower, to use the tool to engage and include all voices in the school community, and bring those voices to bear on the learning, growth, and adaptation of the entire school. Thank you, and have a great school year.